Hi, how are you, Ken?
I'm fantastic. How are you, baby?
I'm delightful.
Oh, it's so good to be able to see you like in Zoomish.
Here I am.
Oh,
So,
well,
this is our first episode
yes,
of our podcast, and we're calling it
boozing, right? Boozing and
no,
bitching? No, we're
the
calling
other
it
way
bitching and
around.
boozing. I may have been boozing beforehand. Mm.
Bitchin' and boozin',
Bitching
where
and
Ken and
boozing.
Heather take some time to do some bitchin' and take some time to do some boozin'. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers, baby. Clank, clank.
Should we start off? What are you drinking, Ken?
I am drinking. I found this at my local liquor store here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Uh, it's called Shanky's Whip. Exactly. That's why I bought it. I laughed because the name is ridiculous and it has an ostrich. And so it's some sort of Irish whiskey that
Okay.
it tastes like cream soda.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what is this? What what is this feeling inside of me? And it's really quite. I mean, it's sweet. So I have to cut it with club soda and a little bit of an orange peel, just because I mean it's sweet.
Nice.
But I just thought I was like, well, this is kind of something weird and different, and I mean
Right?
not weird. Sorry to the people who have Shanky's whip, but
But yes, we said that we were going to do a fall beverage. And well, actually, I believe what you said was let's do a brown beverage.
yes, autumnal.
So, autumnal. Is that a real word?
I think so.
Okay.
Well,
So, yeah,
for now,
for
on
now it
this
is.
episode,
So, this one I am drinking, I have Four Roses whiskey
love.
or bourbon, I believe. Bourbon is what I'm sure there's a sommelier out there who would tell me the difference, and then I would go, no.
Sure.
But I'm doing that with some apple cider, a tinge of lemon juice, shake it up, and that is
Perfect.
my fall beverage. So
Excellent.
nice. So,
Yeah.
so how did we meet, Ken?
Well, it was 84 years. We met in glorious Saginaw, Michigan.
Bow,
We
bow,
were at
bow.
Saginaw Valley State University for the friend of a friend, our dear Virgie, and
Home
Matt
of the
LeMay.
Cardinals. Yes.
Oh, yes, tweet, tweet. Um, I think that's what I mean. I went to all the sports events. Um, and yeah, so but we are fellow theater lovers, and so yeah, but we just always made each other laugh. So,
Exactly. I
and
think you
here we
worked
are.
various and sundry jobs that I probably would go visit you at when you were
Yeah,
waiting tables, I'm
and you
guessing.
were ballroom dancing?
I was.
No,
That was one of my many hats that I wore. I did do a summer at Olive Garden.
that's right.
I think I lasted at Chi Chi's for 2 days, and then I moved over to Olive Garden.
I
Much
worked at Chi
Olive.
Chi's for 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
so I lasted about a summer. That was about it. It's
Mm.
hard work.
It is.
You earn your keep there, sister. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Especially in Michigan at 2.52 an hour.
Zing. So
Wee.
yes, so we met in college.
Yeah.
Had many good times, and now we still have come full circle.
Yeah.
You are in
Well, I mean, through the
Minneapolis,
powers of the glorious social media, we were able to find
right?
each other, and lo and behold, my God, we became fast friends again. And just like it's like nothing. I mean, so many things, of course, happened in those couple decades, but then all of a
Right.
sudden it was just like we're just flying out to see each other, texting and calling and TikToking.
Right? Sharing memes and sharing other TikToks. It's a language now. I think
It
it's a
really is.
full-fledged way of communicating without communicating.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
just I just watched a TikTok where a gentleman was saying that Gen Z now finds it an insult if you put a period on a sentence,
What?
which I'm slightly confused by, but it's almost like,
Oh.
okay, we're done. I'm done talking to you. Instead of not putting a period. I don't get it,
Oh.
but maybe we can explore that
Well,
later on.
right. Well, the millennials stopped using capital letters.
Oh,
They were the
really?
first one that started texting. My daughter started texting, and they never used capital letters as they're going on. Who could be bothered to click the capital, I guess?
Oh,
I don't know, but that was the first irritant. I didn't like that. And if there's
mm,
no periods, it's just a run on thought and stream of
right.
consciousness. And how do you
I'm just
know
like,
the punch? Where is the punchline?
right.
It's yeah,
But
whatever.
then, of course, there's
So
people like of our age who are like, well, some people just use way too many exclamation marks. I'm like, oh God, Mary, settle down.
see,
Oh
we're already
God.
bitching. This is why it's bitching first. We were just supposed to introduce ourselves, but it went right into bitching.
Right into it. I'm not holding back.
But
And
yeah.
another thing. No, no, but yeah, yeah, just being able to reconnect and be able to do this, then starting this
Right?
new life and this new, way of
Right.
communicating with everyone. Because we
Right?
both were so immersed into our theater lives, and
Mm,
of course wanting attention.
indeed.
And
Indeed,
and
yes.
now we're doing it another way.
Because I thought this would be a great regular way to force you to be with me for a period of time and we connect and talk. And you're a captive audience and I get to talk to you. And so that way, even if nobody else listens, I don't care
All
because
right,
it's kind of a win-win, right?
all right, perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So news of the day. Let's dish.
This,
You got
this.
any
Well,
news?
I voted today. We didn't have much
Mm,
for in Minnesota. We didn't have much for voting, so
no.
it
Did you have
was
some propositions or proposals
no.
or?
It was
Uh,
just it was just a simple one. It was like, okay, boop, and it was my. I'm sure it's not a big surprise that I'm a Democrat, but we're not going to be going into that, but quite yet.
shocker. Yeah.
Give it 5 minutes. Um, but yeah, so I just kind of did my. But it was literally like one thing to vote for, and that was it. But of course,
Oh.
37 states I think had. Um,
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I probably should have voted. I didn't. I did last year because it popped up in my Facebook memories that I voted. So I have done it before.
Congratulations, darling.
Thank you. I just didn't. Wait, did you get? Oh, you got a sticker, right?
Yep, I
You
got my
had it on
sticker.
your hat, on your
Yeah,
derby. You're
but
fancying a derby now.
it's just some
It's
stupid hat. I think I found an Urban Outfitters like 12 years ago, and I just fell in love with it. And then everyone was like, "Are you a train conductor?" I'm like, "Piss off." Um, and I mean that in the meanest way possible. Um, but yeah,
But yeah, that's what
I
your sticker
always,
is.
I always say, you can't bitch if you
Mm.
don't vote, and I
This is
love to
true.
bitch.
This is
So
true. And somebody was trolling you on your TikTok.
you're like, it's cute that you think that your vote counts. I'm like,
Oh,
bitch, I didn't
right,
say
yeah.
that my vote counted.
I'm just doing my
Get back onto
civic
your
duty.
bridge, you troll.
Oh, anyways, and the proper response is it is cute because I'm cute.
I didn't. Well, yeah, I didn't really go to elocution school,
Okay.
but
So yeah, well, good for you. You
yeah,
voted.
but
I did not. But that's okay. I did go to Walgreens. I went to get my flu shot. Oh.
oh, congrats. Well,
So
I haven't done that yet.
So I got my flu shot, and I did not get the COVID vaccine because I read somewhere that the elderly should not get the two the two shots together because it increases your risk of stroke. So
Darling, I know that this is a running joke for you. We're not quite elderly. We're
uh,
middle-aged.
okay, this is true. However, here's the second part of the story. As I'm leaving Walgreens with my Miralax, the little
Yeah, no,
counter
okay, yeah,
lady,
okay, yep, I take it all back.
the counter lady looks at me as I'm checking out and says, "Are you over 50?" And I went, "But yes, I am. I turned 51 in January." And she said, "Well, the first Tuesday of every month is Senior Citizen Day, and you get a discount on your purchase." And I went, "Sign me up." So I got a discount on my Miralax because I'm over 50. So boom.
Meanwhile, if that happened to me, that bitch would be with Jesus right now. I like, oh hell no. You're
But
over
I'm
50.
Asian,
Bitch, I'll
so I
punch you in
was
the neck.
happy. I was just happy to save a buck or two. So
Oh, I'm gay, so therefore I love to waste money on anything. Like Shanky's whip.
shaky whip. See now with your facial hair not as plentiful, you look younger because
Yeah,
you look
well,
more
I'm
distinguished, of
mm,
course, with the facial hair. So
right. Yeah, my brother always makes fun of me because, well, no, he doesn't make fun of me. He always attacks me. Um, 'Cause he's like,
family,
"How are you?"
precious.
Yeah, yeah, weird. Um, but he's like, "I have a full head of gray hair, and you don't have any. You dye your hair." I'm like, "Do you think I dye my hair this mousy brown color? Do you think that's fun for me?"
Right. The box literally says Mousy Brown.
Right. Yeah. How about
Mousy
church
Brown for
mouse
gays.
brown? Yeah.
Mhm.
Nothing says sexy. Like, yeah, no, you weirdo.
Sure your grinder really your grinder
Oh
profile
yeah,
really
that's just
works.
bling, bling. Yeah.
Do you swipe on Grinder? I don't even
No,
know.
we do
No.
the what is it? I severely go on it, and I do mean that because you know I'm honest. But I
I've
think it's just
heard. Yeah.
like a hey, I
You don't
like you
even
kind of like a
know.
heart kind of a thing, you know. And I'm like,
Okay, this is your homework.
mm.
By next time you need
Try
to
to get laid. Um, honey,
create a
Haley's
profile.
comet comes more than I do. Are you fucking kidding me? Try to get me to. Please. Oh,
Oh, so but
I don't think
anyways,
you're ready for this jelly. Oh,
inquiring minds want to know because I make my single friends go on Tinder and then let me swipe for them. It's kind of like surprise, just
yeah.
kind of see what pops up. But so
So after, so viewers or listeners, whatever you are, um, we have to tell our one fan. Um,
yeah.
so Virgie. So no.
So you mean our
uh,
next guest? Yes.
so Heather, I did not realize that Heather is quote unquote matchmaker, and when I say matchmaker, I mean pain in the ass. Um,
I believe
so we hadn't seen each
it's
other for
called
20 some
endearing.
years, 25 years. And she comes to Minneapolis, and I'm like, hey, let's go to the gay bar. Blah, blah, blah. Well, she doesn't quite realize that I know every fucking sodomite in the city. And so any person who's like, oh, hey, Ken, how you doing? She's like, this is my friend Ken. He's single. You should date him. And I'm like, hi, this is my friend Tim. And he's known me for years. So that's not happening.
You never know.
Yeah. Oh, I do. Um,
I'm pretty sure I yelled your name out to some gays that did not know you at the
Well,
bar.
yeah, well, because they were deaf. Um, but
Oh god, that was a good time. I really
that was a really good time.
I love matching people up and
Oh,
creating love, be it a night, be it a day, a week. But it's good, you know?
you should probably ask him. Um, it's called
Why start
consent.
now? Silly.
Oh,
Okay. Nice.
anyway. So, so what have you been doing lately?
Let's see. I went to Dallas this weekend.
Okay.
I have a habit of planning things, and my ADHD brain thinks it's a great idea at the time, and then I fuck it up somehow. Here's my examples are the family does a trip to Paris
Mm,
year 3 or 4 years ago, and I booked us to the tour of the Eiffel Tower, so you could stand at the top and see everything. Well, time zones elude me. I really have trouble even with East Coast to West Coast, so bought tickets for when we were still on the plane. Because I thought, of course, we would have landed by then, but Sunday's not Sunday everywhere, evidently. So fuck that over. Then I
so
buy
you could have gone to
tickets to
the
see,
Eiffel Tower in Iceland
well, or
if they
no,
had
well,
one.
when I was on the plane. Yeah.
Right.
So then I buy tickets to go see Bob Moses, who is a musical artist. Ken
Okay.
would know this, but he only listens to musicals in Broadway.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even listen to them.
yeah, I just watch people.
I just go see. I go see the shows. I don't listen to music, but
So, anyways, buy the tickets. I'm so excited. I tell everybody we're going tonight. And then I look to see at the theater and I look them up online and I go, they're in Turkey. Wait a minute. Tonight I'm in Paris. I had the wrong night and I missed them. I had the physical tickets on the counter and I fucked it up. So, in
mm.
true fashion, we are in Dallas this weekend. I buy tickets to Meow Wolf in Dallas.
I'm sorry.
And
Meow Wolf.
so Meow Wolf is an art installation.
Okay,
Google it.
I will.
I went to the one in Vegas when I went with the young kids that I worked with at Hanks. And it's just like that one's a supermarket, but yet there's like hidden things and lights and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
artsy,
yeah.
like
Okay.
if okay, it's just bringing about. Yeah, okay. It's
Yep,
like
yep, yep,
live
yep.
art, right? Okay. So they have an installation in Dallas, and we were going to go do that one. And then it, I didn't check with the family on schedule and times. And so we were actually busy doing pageant shit while the show, with the tickets for the show, there's no refunds. It says you can change the time of your ticket, but you go in and then they were already all sold out. So, yeah.
So, just so our one listener knows, our fan knows, um, Heather's daughter is she works in pageants. So she's
Yes.
no, not works, but she's a pageant gal.
She works
Is that?
hard for the money. Yeah,
Eh,
she's a
eh, eh,
pageant
eh.
gal. That's
I
yeah,
sound like my
that
father.
is
Oh,
the
she's one of those
technical
gals.
term.
Yeah,
That's the technical term. Yes.
she's a
She
pageant
does pageants.
queen.
She
Yeah,
does
she does pageants.
pageants. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes. Like Debbie does
so
Dallas, Sophie does pageants. Yes.
and I'm sure Sophie's gonna really appreciate that one. Just like
She
that
won't even get
hooker.
it.
Um, now she will.
Oh, exactly. So, anyways, so that was we went to Dallas, did that, flew the girl in, flew the girl out, did pageant stuff. So it was a good time.
Nice, nice.
Always nice to see the fam
Yes.
when all three of us are together. It's almost a gaggle.
Oh, just trying to herd all three cats all together.
Pew 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 pew. Oh, good deal.
Ah,
So, we're our topic for today. We're always going to do a little topic here. Our topic for today is travel.
mm.
And Ken, you just got back from a fabulous travel trip
Oh
to
my God,
New
stop begging
York.
me to tell you about this story. Girl, fine.
Tell us, Ken. Tell us.
All right. So, um, I'm gonna try to condense this to 4 hours. And so I get a couple tickets to this musical that was uh, a huge hit on Broadway. It was called The Girl from North Country. It was an original story using the music of Bob Dylan.
Oh,
And
nice. Did
that
you know who he was?
I have heard of him.
Okay,
He
that's a
won an
step.
Oscar, bitch. I know that one. Um, so her joke is intending that I'm horrible with music, which is true. Um, so they do a musical. It came to town in Minneapolis, and my friend Sarah, who's always so incredibly generous, um, I got tickets, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And she was like, "Oh my God, yes." So we go
Fabulous.
see the show, and we're just talking, and we're just talking about shows and Broadway and so on and so forth. And then she was just like, she travels a lot, so she has a lot of points and so on and so forth. And
Yeah.
like I said, she's extremely generous. So she was just like, "Do you want to go to New York this weekend?" And I work in restaurants, so that's very. And I was like, "Sarah, I it's so short notice. I can't. I have to cover my shifts. Blah blah blah." She was like, "Okay, well, do you want to go next weekend?" I'm like, "Yes." So
Perfect.
so she's like, "Well, what do you want to see?" And I had just saw that Stephen Sondheim show "Merrily We Roll Along" had just opened up on Broadway, and it stars Daniel Radcliffe, famously known as Harry Potter. And I was like, God, it'd be hilarious if we could find tickets for that. Well, in comes, oh, Kitty, my dear darling friend Kitty. I've known her for years, decades. Not that she's that old. And she comes in, and so Kitty just recently won a Tony for producing a show on Broadway.
Yeah, no,
And
no big deal.
no,
Yeah,
no,
right?
no, no.
No, just
Get
a
out.
day in the life.
I'm surprised she doesn't have it as a fucking earring. Um, so, and she won the Tony for reviving Parade. And so we were just, so Sarah and I were talking to Kitty, and you were talking, oh, we're thinking about going to New York, and merrily we roll along. She's like, oh well, good luck getting a ticket unless you talk to me.
Yes.
And I was like, girl, we're talking. So
That is
she's
a
like,
friend
"Doop,
with
doop, 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 doop."
benefits. Yes.
She's texting the producer. The producer, while I'm eating a filet Oscar. And yeah, do you ever see Hungry Hungry Hippos? That's kind of what when I'm anyway. So she's like, okay, yeah. Do you want Friday or Saturday night?
Shut the front door.
I won't. And I'll open up the back door. So uh they so she gets me tickets for the show. And Sarah
That's
is so
insane.
incredibly generous. She flies me out. There's hotel rooms, and there's food, and there's croquettes stuffed with kimchi. Bing! I was just in heaven. So we sit down Friday night. So we fly in Friday night, Friday
Well, but
morning.
she's must be ecstatic, right? I
Oh,
mean, like
Sarah's just thrilled
she's
because
yeah. So
she's
you bringing this to the table, but Ken comes in clutch and says, "Bam,
beep,
bitch, here I got this." Yeah.
yeah. And because Sarah's always so fabulously generous, but I was like, can I please do something? You know, and so she was like, yes. So she allowed me, and
Amazing.
and it was such a magical night. Well, because first of all, we're sitting, and so we look at the tickets, and we're like eighth row or something, row G or L or whatever. I can't count.
Right.
Um, and so we're like right there. So we're sitting there, and I'm just trying to find celebrities because the show just opened,
Right?
and Andrea Martin. Do you know Andrea Martin?
No.
Did you see the movie Great Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes.
You come to my house, I make lamb.
Nice.
They bless my
Nice.
sleep. That woman,
Yes. Okay.
she's a huge Broadway star. She's a great character actress, and she's in the
Mm.
show Only Murders in the Building. She's just fantastic, and I adore her.
Oh,
What?
her. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Adorable. Tiny package. Love her.
yep. All
Yes.
the hair,
Got it.
the,
Yep.
the short Bernadette Peters hair.
Yep.
Just brilliant actress. Well, she just walks right in front of me and sits two rows ahead of me.
Shit.
That's when I lost my bowels. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to that theater. I think it was a Hudson. I'm not sure, but the cleanup was
Mm.
Roji. Um, but anyway, fantastic show. Was able to speak to Andrea Martin for just a second. I knew that she wasn't doing selfies, so I was just like, "Hey, huge fan.
Right.
I'll never have this opportunity again. Love you." Blah, And she was so
Nice.
gracious.
Nice.
And then and so my friend Sarah, who is, kind of fitting the bill for everything, uh, I I want to be a good, Midwesterner and just be like, what would you like to do? And so after the show, okay, so listener, um,
Come on, Grandpa. You can get together. Okay.
well, I will stop doing the listener joke or a fan joke. Um, but I collect autographed movie photos.
Okay.
So I collect photos. They're all over my house. So it's not just like they could just go into a drawer thing.
Right.
Sarah knows this. And so she's like, well, and she's a fan of Daniel Radcliffe, And she's
Okay.
like, I swear he kept looking at me during the show. And I was like, of course he was, you know. Um, and she kept joking, well, he's probably just looking at Andrea Martin, but I don't care. So, um, so then I was like, well, she was like, do you want to hang out for an autograph? And of course, in myself, I of course wanted to, but I wanted to be accommodating to this woman who was just, taking
Right.
me to New York.
Maybe she didn't want to hang out
Maybe she didn't
in
want
the
to. Maybe she just wanted to go home.
right.
Maybe wanted to go to the hotel. Maybe she wanted to eat. I don't
Right.
know.
Who knows?
Maybe I could have just said, "Hey, you go, you go. I'll fuck off
Right.
at the stage door."
Right.
So, we kept doing that. Do you, blah, long story long. She's like, let's just go check it out. And Heather, I'm not kidding when I say, when we turned the corner to the stage door, the the air was electric. It was all of a sudden, Sarah looked at me and she was like, oh yeah, we're staying. And
Yes.
so there's like a gate. So all the fans have to go behind.
Right.
So, none of the pores have to touch him. And uh, and so you walk up, and what I did love is that you have to prove that you went to the show. So you have to show your
Oh,
ticket.
right. Okay.
And so, we proved, and it was just so fantastic. And he
Mm.
we weren't sure if he was going to stay for the entire thing and blah 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 blah. He stayed the
Right.
entire time. It was like a half block long, so there was hundreds of people.
Really?
There was one young woman, and I kind of wanted to judge her, but then all of a sudden I was like, "Ken, shut up." I had to bitch to myself. I was bitching to myself of just stop judging. She just met this man that she grew up with. And so
Right?
she started like sobbing. So he's like hugging her. And like, he was so incredibly gracious and
Aw.
just so sweet. And, he signed my playbill. He took Sarah's phone. He stole it and he sold it. No, he took Sarah's phone. He took 5 or 6 selfies with us.
Shut up.
And it kind of
Aw.
became like a community behind that little gate because I'm mutantly tall, almost being 6'6". So
Giraffe.
I was, yeah, and I was, taking video of him signing other people's stuff,
Ah, yeah.
and all of a sudden these little, girls were like, "Hi, hi, can you do that too?" And so I was like double
Aw.
fisting for all these other people. And I was like, yes, of course I will. It's just cool for everyone,
Cat has
you
found his
know?
purpose.
Yeah. And then,
So
just
nice. Oh.
Sarah was just in heaven. And then uh, this girl kind of jumped into our selfie, and she was like,
Hmm.
"Hi, can you sell me? Or not sell me? Can you send me that selfie? I kind of photobombed it." And we were like, "Of course you, yes,
Um,
yes, of course." So it was such a great community of that. So
nice.
it
Because
was just a
everyone's
fun thing.
there, everyone appreciates, they all saw the
Right.
show, so they all loved it. And
Yeah.
Sophie had
And
a similar experience when she was in New York and went and saw Paradise Square. And it was
mm,
on the final night that because they closed, remember? Because they didn't have money,
yeah.
and it was like so many nominations, and then and yeah, and so all the cast members, same thing, came out. She's getting selfies with them. She's texting me, "It's the best night of my life." And then she's like, the one even slid in her DMs. She
Oh,
was,
like in
yeah,
a good
and
way
I'm
or
like, well, I mean, like, we're going to a party on
oh,
the
I
blah, 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 type
well,
thing. You want to meet
you
us?
never
And I'm
know.
like, girl, you can't even get into the bar. You're 19. So good
Yeah.
luck. So,
Um,
but yeah, so that's so awesome. But that's not
it
the
was
only show
awesome.
you saw, right?
No, I saw
Yeah.
Some Like It Hot,
Mhm.
and then I saw there was another show, and it was Stephen Sondheim's last show, and that he was working on,
Mm.
and it's called Here We Are, and um, I don't know how to explain it because it's so fucking weird, but I loved it, but I don't know
Oh,
if I want to
good.
see it again, but I want to see it again just to, I don't know how.
Mm. Yeah, it kind of left you with questions,
I had
questionable
so many
feelings.
questions, but
Mm.
this this won't be this won't be Sweeney Todd.
Mm.
Um, but what is funny is that I I was like, Sarah was like, well, what shows do you want to see? Hmm. And so I was like, I want to see the last show that he ever worked on. I don't care
Right.
if it's
Yeah.
bad. I don't care if it's kind of good. I don't care if it's great. I just want to see it. I want to see it in New York because it's
Yeah.
Sondheim.
Right.
And so she was like, okay, great. So darling, she bought the tickets, and it was at the Shed, which is gorgeous, by the way. Um, Pain in the ass to get through, but anyway, but that's just me being old. And
Bitchin'.
so Sarah finds, and she's great about this. She finds restaurants because she used to live in New York. So she's like, oh well, there's this blah blah blah, and the chef knows da 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 da. So I'm like, cool, great. We're sitting there having dinner, and then she's like, what's this show about? I'm like, Typical Ken Anderson. I'm like, oh.
It's just his last
She's
show.
like, you don't know anything about the show? I'm like, I just know it was Sondheim's last show, so I wanted to see it. She's like, do you want me to look up the plot? I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, good. Whatever. And I'm stuffing whatever in my mouth. And she's like, I can't find anything about the show, like the plot. And she's like, well, let's look up the cast. I didn't look up the cast. She's like, you didn't tell me that Bobby Cannavale's in it. And I'm like, I didn't know.
Who's that?
Bobby, did I say his name? Oh, I probably said it wrong. Um, he was like in Will and Grace. He was the cop, boyfriend, husband for Will. He's been in a bunch of things.
Oh.
Shit, Bobby Cannavale. Because the more I think about it, then I start getting nervous. So like, oh shit, am I saying the name of
Bobby Canoosh.
Cannavale?
Baba Canoosh?
Baba Ganoush. But then, there's all these other Broadway stars like Rachel Bay, who was in Dear Evan Hansen, Dennis O'Hare, who I fucking love, who I just found out was an American Horror Story. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And then,
I'm terrible at this game. I don't know. But I guess if I see
well,
him,
but
I
you're
see
gonna
him
know
and you
this
go,
name.
"Oh, you so and so."
You're gonna know this name. She goes, well, you could have
Yeah.
told me that David Hyde Pierce is in it. And I was like,
That's right.
I
That's
had
right.
no idea.
You had pictures of him. That's
Yeah, I was
right.
like,
Frasier's brother.
because I didn't bother looking at the cast list. But also, usually, like for most Broadway shows, they're like Bernadette Peters.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
here we are, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, they're just gonna go with some New York names, and like Rachel Bay. Oh shit, I'm just nervous. But she won a Tony for Dear Evan Hansen, so she's not like a name, so to speak, for Middle
But theater
America, but
musical people, yes, all
they would
know,
know
especially
her. And like
yes.
Dennis
Yeah.
O'Hare, he's not really a name kind of a thing, but I just know him from Broadway stuff.
Right.
And he was in the show
Yes.
This Is Us and that kind of thing. But all of a sudden she was like, David Hyde Pierce, and I'm like, no shit. No clue. I had no fucking clue. And so
Ta-da!
so then yeah, so then I think
Amazing.
I got her hooked on, being at the stage door. Because we waited
Mm.
there for about 10 minutes and there was nothing. And there's no one coming up. And I was just like, that's when I was just like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, we can beat cheeks. And
Right.
she was like, bitch, we've been here for 10 minutes. We're waiting.
We're waiting. Yep.
So yeah, that was fantastic. So got
Mm.
to meet
And yeah, you
pretty
got
much all of
photos
them
of
except
that
for
and
Bobby Ganoush. Um,
for Papa Ganoush
Bobby Cava,
to not come out.
son of a bitch, Cavanali.
Cavarici. Bobby Cavarici. This is not
He
the
was
Cavarici, his brother.
Heather. I know you know who he is, and I'm embarrassed for
I
not.
don't know. I can't even when I watch movies, I say, "Hey, that's what's her nuts." I don't know her name, but if I
Right,
IMDb her, then you all of a sudden realize I've been watching her since 1983, you know?
right.
But then if they were standing next to me in the elevator at the Grove or something, I don't know. Jay can spot him, and he's like, "That's that guy from Entourage," and I'm like, "I don't know." I was like a short, fat, bald man. But he can smell that stuff out, but I'm just probably not
Oh,
observant enough. But
oh,
well, this is
oh,
a
but I do have to talk
fantastic
about.
trip in New York.
I do have to talk about
Yes.
my friend Kitty, who got us tickets. She didn't,
Oh, okay.
she helped us
Yeah.
get tickets
Yes.
um, for the
She
show.
knows people.
She
Yes.
knows people, and we got them at a discount. Um,
Oh,
I'm not
nice.
gonna say how much, but we didn't get it for free, so don't ask her. Um, but she is producing, or she's doing producing. I don't know. This is a
Oh,
great story.
this is another Debbie Does Dallas moment for you. Okay. Kitty does musicals.
Kitty
Yeah.
does
Okay.
Broadway. Um, she's doing the show Lapnika about the artist who did those fabulous Art Deco paintings back in like the I want to say like the 30s. Um, and so that show is going to be opening up on Broadway very, very soon. So
Oh, so she
I'm
has
just like,
exciting
she's
projects on the
not just
horizon,
a one-hit wonder. This,
right?
Kitty is doing Broadway. So
It's so exciting.
yeah,
It's good to know people.
yeah. So I
Plus,
think that
in
show's
your
going to be opening
industry,
up
I think,
in. I think that show's going to be opening up in March. Yeah.
oh, nice.
So.
But industry people are good to know, you know?
Hmm.
It's a good crowd, it's a good crew. So
Yeah.
you're a special kind of folk
Yeah.
right here. Mm.
I
Okay.
just want to sleep with her,
Well,
Tony, for just a little bit.
oh, here we go. The Tonys, the Oscars, the why Prince won't let you take a picture of his
That'll be the next episode.
bitter moments for
Oh,
Ken.
the
Yes.
I'm as bitter as baker's chocolate. Oh,
Jesus.
but I did
Tell
see
me
the.
you're white without telling me you're white.
I know what
By
baker's
Ken
chocolate is.
Anderson. Okay.
All
Well,
right,
to me this has been great because
all
we
right,
won't want to. I don't want to be super long. I don't want to be
all right.
super short. Just want to be right in the
This
middle.
has actually just been just under an hour. So, all right,
Right. I just flew right by. Right. I
it
mean,
does. Especially when I'm
so
talking
much
about
fun.
myself. It's so weird how it just flies
It's
by.
so weird how I was hanging on my every word.
I mean, my God, I am pretty fantastic.
I'll be sure to
Anyway, so
tell
more
everyone
about
that.
you
Yes.
next time.
I'm
Um,
fine. I could listen to you banter on all
good
day.
God,
So,
don't
which
make
is
me.
why we're a good match because
Well,
you banter, I listen, and then I laugh. So everyone's
uh,
happy.
all right.
Okay,
Well,
so we're gonna do
then,
this. We're gonna do this
so
again.
yes, we
This is
will.
episode one, and then we'll get this going and look out, bitching and
Yeah.
boozing. Here we are,
Bitchin'
and
and
then we'll have
boozing.
some. I'm telling you,
Bitchin' and
we're
boozing.
gonna take out our free music and we're gonna do our own intro and exit music.
Yeah,
No?
let's do it.
Okay.
All
Game
right.
on. Okay. Love you.
Gay on. All right. How do I do this?
Bye.
Bye.
I'll exit. Okay.
Thanks.